Today's video is a little tutorial on how to use the SMD DD-1 distortion detector when using an iPad for a source. I get a lot of people asking me, how do you do it if you have an iPad and you don't have a CD in your deck? A lot of people don't have a CD player nowadays. I hate to say it, but the CD is on its way out, and a lot of people don't even have a CD player anymore. Matter of fact, I picked up a nice Sony deck, just a little Sony deck for the test bench, and you know, it doesn't have a CD player in it. It's all Bluetooth, it's all input, but no CD player. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly how to set up your system properly with the distortion detector. The only problem is the iPad has three different outputs. It's got the dock connector, it's got Bluetooth, and it's got the headphone jack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and test it out, and we're going to see exactly which one distorts and where, and from there I'll show you how to set up your amps. Alright, so I got this little Sony deck. You know, I ordered it up because I do like Bluetooth. I've got Bluetooth in my Lexus and in the Tahoe. I really like it, but I've always wondered, is there distortion over Bluetooth where there wouldn't be if you hardwired it? So I've got this deck. It's pretty affordable, does a lot of things, a couple $100, not bad at all. So what I've got here is I've got an iPad 3 hooked up to a dock connector. We'll start out with that first. We'll do dock connector, headphone jack, and Bluetooth. I've got a couple of Rockford Fosgate amps. Got a Prime 750 and a Prime 400.4. Just running the little speakers I got laying around. A little woofer down below. So the first thing you're going to want to do if you don't have a CD player is you're going to want to go to dmorengineering.com and download the lossless files. There's going to be track 1 all the way to track 9, and make a playlist and put them on your iPad or your iPhone, whatever you're using. So now that they're in there, we can go ahead and do this. As you can see, this thing doesn't have any kind of CD player. Matter of fact, it's got a hole in it where you could put an iPod. If you've got an older iPod, you could put your phone in there. I don't know if I'd do that, but if you have a regular iPod, you could just slap it in there and it disappears. So basically I should be able to do this just as fast, if not faster than using the CD. I'm going to go ahead and clip the DD-1 onto the first amp. But this is a mids and high amp, so we're going to go ahead and use track 2. Track 2 is 1000 Hertz, 0 dB. Alright, so now that we got this playing, speaker's disconnected so I don't have to listen to this thing making noise. Gain's all the way down on the amp, playing track 2. So this deck goes up to 50. So it looks like at 1000 Hertz, there's no distortion coming out of the iPad dock. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to try this one. Just to be safe, we're going to go to 40 Hertz. Test it out over here. Looks like 45 we got distortion, 43 no distortion. So out of 50 we can go to 43. So it looks like 43 would be your number, and the mids and highs don't really have any sort of distortion in them. A little bit on the bass though, and the EQ settings on the iPad 3 are all flat. We'll get into that a little bit too. I'll turn them up and see if we can make it distort. But right now it looks like 43 would be our number. So we're going to go ahead and leave that at 43. Now if you were setting your gains with an iPad 3, you just leave that in there, jump right on over track 5, 40 Hertz minus 10 dB. Just leave the probes in there, leave this where it was at, turn the gain up. As you can see, we've got a 40 Hertz signal. Turning the gain up. A little distortion right there. Just like that. Now I'm going to jump right back over to the mids and high amp. minus 5 dB, 1000 hertz, track 4. As you can see, we're detecting it, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this up. Right about there. Back it off a little bit. Done. So that is how you set up your system with an iPad. Now you see why I didn't want to listen to that. So now remember, 43 was our number, so I should be able to turn this up to 43. Like that all day long. No distortion. Slow down, focus for roaches, man. I don't know if y'all notice. I'm trying to bubble like sodas. It's funky like halitosis. Thank you, gritty, no pity. Alright, so that's all good and everything. But see, we're not done yet. We still got Bluetooth and headphone jack. So let's see if we can get any distortion out of this the other way. There it goes. No dock. Alright, so we're going to move on to the headphone jack. And it could be anything just like this, you know. Some people run it directly into their system. So that's what we'll do. Now normally I would just stick the DD-1 right on these and see where this thing is distorting at. But I can't do that because it only reads about 0.9 volts. As you can see right here. We need about 1.2 volts before it'll be able to pick it up. But that's okay because I'm going to run the iPad directly to the amp, which I did. So since basically the iPad's going to become a deck at this point, I'll use track 2. Gain's all the way down. I'm going to start turning up the iPad. There we got a signal. iPad is turned all the way up, no distortion. So of course, if this was your actual deck, you could drop down to minus 5 dB, leave it like that, turn your gain up, there's some distortion, back it off a little bit and you'd be done. So let's try this on at 40 hertz on the bass amp, see if we get the same result. Okay, it's turned all the way up, no distortion. Now, just for the heck of it, while I got this on here, let's see if the EQ settings introduce any of that. So let's go over here to Music, EQ. Now the EQ was off. Let's put bass booster on and see what happens. Okay, now we're boosted. Same thing, no distortion. So even with the EQ turned up a little bit, still no distortion. So the headphone jack and the dock connector are both clean. Now like before, if this was your head unit, we know that this doesn't distort all the way up. So we've got it turned all the way up. We would change the track. For me, I like minus 10 dB on my bass, so I would use track 5. And now I'm going to turn this gain up a little bit while it's playing track 5. Turn it all the way up. Got some distortion right there. Back it off. Now you'd be done. You're ready to play your iPad directly through your amps, and you know you could turn it all the way up with no problems. But we've got one more thing to do. Bluetooth. Let's do it. Alright, let's say you wanted to use this for your head unit, but you didn't want to plug it in. That's easy. Go to settings, of course. Bluetooth is on. And I've already got this programmed in, so we'll choose the Sony Automotive, which is that deck. Now we're connected. Bluetooth audio. Here we go. Alright, so we got this all ready to go, and it's hooked up to the deck through Bluetooth. Amp is turned all the way down, so now we're basically getting a reading off of these two. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the iPad all the way up. As you can see, we got distortion before we even have a signal. So it looks like I'll need to back off the iPad a little bit, so looks like 2 clicks. 2 clicks from the very top on Bluetooth shuts the distortion down, and then you can keep turning the deck up. So there we go, we got 1000 hertz. I'm turning it up. We got no distortion at full power. Let's go ahead and jump over to the bass and see if it's the same results. Track 1, 40 hertz, 0 dB. Alright, no distortion at 1000 hertz, but if you look, this deck goes up to 50. And we've got distortion at 46 out of 50. So if I back that down to 45 and call that our number, we should be safe. So, the iPad, 2 clicks back from all the way up, and leave that where it's at. Change tracks. Again, I like to do minus 10 dB. We've got a little signal right here. The amp is still plugged in. So now I'm going to turn this gain up. There's our distortion. Back it off. No distortion. Jump over here to the mids and high amp. I prefer minus 5 dB like I did in the other tests. So everything's the same. This is left up to 46. This is 2 clicks back. Now I'm going to turn the gain up. There's some distortion. Back it off a little bit. No distortion. Done. So basically I can go up to 46 on this deck because I know that that's a good number. Oh, so I think the number was 45, wasn't it?
I think it was 46.
No, I think it was 45. You can go to 46, made it light up.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so 40. Alright, so we can go up to 45 on the deck, and we know we don't have any problems, even over Bluetooth. So that right there is how you use a DD-1 with an iPad 3, whether it's a dock, headphone jack, or Bluetooth. It's pretty simple. So basically, if you're planning on using an iPhone, it's going to be the exact same procedure. I'm not sure if everybody's iPad, iPad 2, or iPad 1, or old iPhone is going to be the same. But if you've got one of these, of course you can find out for yourself. Take it from Scythe. Set your gains properly and enjoy your music.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
2 of them.